Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I am bringing you the second episode of Road to Ranked. Of course, I am double uploading episodes this entire week to make up for the couple of episodes I missed last week and the one yesterday, so I hope you guys enjoy. Now I actually want some quick feedback because I am thinking of using more different teams for the next upcoming days. You know, previously in Road to Ranked I've really stuck with the same team over and over again, and those would be teams that I brought to real life tournaments. But now that, you know, the focus isn't so much on real life tournaments since there's a small break, I'm wondering if you guys would rather see more diversity with teams, you know, switching it up every now and then or whatnot. I actually tested a couple of teams in between the last episode and now. Didn't go too well, dropped a couple of games, won a couple of games, but yeah, I just wanted to ask you guys whether you wanted to see more diversity or whether you'd rather see me stick with the same team for a longer period of time. Of course, I don't plan on using teams as long as I did, say, the Mega Venusaur team where I had it for 2 weeks or so, since I'm sure you guys would rather see, you know, me change it up every now and then, but basically, my real question is, how often do you want to see me change teams? So let me know in the comments below. I'd love your feedback, as we're going to find a 1803 rated player from Japan as our first opponent of the day, with a team of Thundurus, Landorus, Mawile, Hydreigon, Tyranitar, and Amoonguss. So definitely a very scary team. Very reminiscent to VGC 2012-2013 with everything except the Mawile. So let's see. Metagross is really good because it beats the Amoonguss. The Thundurus is probably the scariest thing on my opponent's team. I think I'm going to edit the team a bit to actually counter Thundurus a bit better, just because right now my Thundurus matchup is not exactly the best matchup in the world. So let's see. I do like leading Suicune a lot. Suicune and I think I'm actually going to go Conkeldurr Suicune, just because Conkeldurr threatens the majority of my opponent's team. Metagross in the back for sure. And for the last one, probably going to want Hydreigon, though Gengar is also kind of tempting. The thing is, Gengar can Will-O-Wisp Mawile, but it can't really do much damage to the remainder of my opponent's team, though I guess it can Icy Wind as well. Though I'm expecting that Tyranitar to be Choice Scarfed, which is my biggest fear right now. Though I guess Conkeldurr can deal with that. So it's between Hydreigon and Gengar. You know what, maybe I should just lead with Gengar like I normally do. Actually, yeah, Gengar Conkeldurr makes more sense to me here as a lead. Metagross in the back. Do I even want Suicune now? Yeah, Suicune still matches well against Mawile, Lando, and Tyranitar. Can Tailwind and, of course, can Burn as well. So I'm going to lock in there and we'll see how this goes. Pretty threatening team for my opponent for sure, though. Thundurus and Landorus is always just a very scary combination to deal with in general. For any of you that played VGC 2013, of course, one of the most dominant duels that year, just because, you know, of the natural synergy, Landorus being able to intimidate an Earthquake, Thundurus being able to spam Thunder Wave, T-Bolt, taunts, etc. So, already a scary looking team. I'm wondering what the items on the Hydreigon Tyranitar are, especially because, you know, those are Pokemon that often like to carry choice items, especially Tyranitar, which, like I said, I would think is Choice Scarf, but I guess we'll find out. Gonna have to play a bit carefully, though. I think Metagross is solid here, but it's also gonna have to watch out because my opponent has a lot of different ways to hit it for super effective damage. So we're gonna see the Amoonguss and Hydreigon lead from my opponent here against my Gengar and Conkeldurr, which is actually alright, because what I can do is taunt the Amoonguss right away, preventing it from getting another Rage Powder. But the main thing is, you know, I can't really Drain Punch here safely with Conkeldurr because he's probably going to Rage Powder with the Amoonguss. So I could just taunt. Yeah, I'm going to taunt the Amoonguss actually and Ice Punch the Hydreigon. This way, if he doesn't Rage Powder, then I get a free Ice Punch against it. And if he does go for the Rage Powder as you'd expect, then, you know, Ice Punch is still super effective against the Amoonguss. So the main thing here is I don't want to walk into Drain Punch being redirected by Rage Powder. So I'm going to play it a bit safer here. But it should work out alright. He's actually going to withdraw the Hydreigon, which is fine because it means I get a free Ice Punch off. Looks like Landorus is coming in here. So if he did not go for the Rage Powder with the Amoonguss, he's going to be in a lot of trouble, but we'll see. Wow, he didn't Rage Powder. But maybe he has a Mental Orb, given that... Yep, he does have the Mental Orb item. Okay. I do get the Ice Punch off for free against this Landorus, though, which is obviously fantastic. Oh, almost knocks it out. Just misses out on the KOs. He goes for the Spore onto the Gengar, which is okay. Mental Orb, definitely a very annoying item to deal with, though. Always kind of messes you up. But, hey, that's fine. I'll take what I can get. So I'm going to Icy Wind here. I do want to switch out Conkeldurr, but the thing is he might just Spore that slot. So, I mean, I want to Mach Punch, obviously, here. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to Mach Punch and Icy Wind. This way, if he doesn't Rage Powder, then I just get a free Mach Punch off. Looks like he's going to switch out and Spore the Conkeldurr slot, though, as he's going to actually go into Mawile, which is a great switch-in for him here. So getting the double Intimidate off. I'm gonna want to conserve this Conkeldurr because it beats my opponent's Landorus T and the Hydreigon, as Mach Punch does very minimal damage there. Gengar's gonna take a turn of sleep, and this Amoonguss being able to spam Spore right now is kind of a big deal. It's just not very good for me because obviously I can't do very much. And it would be really, really nice right now to wake up with Gengar. So what I'm gonna do is taunt the Amoonguss and switch Conkeldurr out into... Metagross isn't bad, because it can threaten it can force the, basically, Amoonguss to switch back out. Though Suicune puts on more offensive pressure onto the Mawile. But, let's see. I am going to go with Metagross. Yeah, that way I can try to set up a substitute, which is kind of a good thing with Metagross, you know, getting free substitutes up, but should have anticipated the Amoonguss having a Mentor. Mentor Amoonguss, very, very annoying to deal with. As Mawile is going to Mega Evolve, staying in. If I'm my opponent here, I'm probably going to Iron Head the Gengar just because, like, there's no reason. The Conkeldurr switch out is pretty obvious here, but I'm fine. If Gengar could wake up here, that'd be great. Unfortunately, it does not wake up, though. And the fact that Amoonguss didn't go for Rage Powder indicates to me it went for the Spore onto Metagross, which is also very, very bad news for me. So, this Amoonguss is just sporing everything right now, and I am not liking that. But he actually goes for the Giga Drain onto Gengar. Also a very good play on my opponent's end. So yeah, had I woken up there, that would have been really good, but not going to be the case. I get a free switch into Suicune, though, which is nice. So now it's interesting. Yeah, basically, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to protect with my Suicune, Mega Evolve, and go for the substitute. There's really not much you can do to stop this substitute because, you know, ideally he'd go for something like a Sucker Punch onto Metagross and a Spore onto the Suicune. This way, by setting up substitute, he can't KO me with Sucker Punch the following turn, nor can he Spore me. So this turn definitely works out in my favor, but it's still a scary one. As Mawile actually went for the Protect as well, okay. So this, I mean, guarantees that I get the sub up, which is obviously great. Amoonguss protecting as well, so trying to, you know, block any potential attacks and scouting it out, but Metagross does get the substitute up for free, which is absolutely fantastic for me here. So now the Zen Headbutt play into Amoonguss is pretty obvious, but I think I'm still going to go for it. Yeah, I'm just going to Scald the Mawile and Zen Headbutt. If I could burn with Scald here, that would be very, very nice. He's just going to go straight for the Sucker Punch onto Metagross, and he did not switch out Amoonguss, which is good, because Zen Headbutt should be able to pick up the KO. Hopefully, we'll see. As long as it doesn't miss. I've been missing Zen Headbutts all day, but this one does connect, which is great. So let's see how much damage it does. Picks up the knockout, perfect. With a crit, actually. So, hey, I'm not going to complain about that. I really needed this turn, and it works out perfectly in my favor. A Skull Burn here would be really nice. Crit? No, but no burn. Burn would have been better, but that's fine. We're probably going to see... Actually, I don't even know what's coming in at this point. Because if it's Landorus, then Landorus can't really touch Suicune, and I can just switch my Metagross back out into Conkeldurr. But if it's Hydreigon, then... Hydreigon, like, he'd have to Sucker Punch the Metagross, and Suicune can get up a Tailwind. I was thinking of Tailwinding there, and it might have actually been a better play in retrospect, but I was fishing for a burn onto Mawile because I knew if I got it, I basically could have sealed the game up with Suicune by itself, but we'll see. Conkeldurr not having been able to take any sleep turns right now is kind of the biggest deal because it's just a sitting duck, but we're going to actually see Hydreigon come in here. Okay. So I'm going to Tailwind here with Suicune. The sub play is kind of obvious with Metagross. I don't know what item the Hydreigon has either, which is kind of the biggest deal. So I kind of want to protect protecting Scarf. But if he Scarf locks himself into Dark Pulse, then I can just win with Suicune. So I'm going to go for the sub and the Tailwind. Yes, and he does go for the Sucker Punch. Oh, he goes for the Draco, so it was Scarf Hydra, but opting to target Suicune instead of the Metagross, that's a pretty bad misplay, I think. Not a misplay, but I'm going to be able to fully capitalize off this, because first of all, now the Hydreigon is at -2, and it's locked into Draco Meteor, and I get a free sub up with Metagross, and I get a Tailwind up. So that's like as perfect as a turn as I really could have gotten there. Had my opponent, say, play rough the Suicune and went for the Dark Pulse onto Metagross instead, things could have played out much worse. So, you know, I wasn't sure whether there was Scarf Hydra or not. I decided to play a bit more aggressive, and it definitely paid out in my favor. So let's see. I'm just going to Ice Beam the Hydra now because he either stays in or switches out to Lando and gets KO'd, and I'm just going to Iron Head Mawile here. My opponent's in a really bad position. He's actually going to go straight for the Sucker Punch onto Suicune instead. which makes a lot of sense actually. Good play on my opponent's end, as Ironhead here should be able to pick up the knockout onto the Mega Mawile, as it does. So this is really good because Mega Metagross actually wins this match already. A Hydreigon locked into Draco Meteor is not going to do anything against the Metagross, and given that I was able to get the Ice Punch turn 1 off against Landorus, it's basically gone for as well, as Hydra gets a Draco there, but it actually does not knock out Suicune because Suicune is so darn bulky, and I get the Ice Beam off against the Hydreigon. So that's basically actually going to be game. I think my opponent really messed up that turn by sucker punching when the substitute was pretty imminent from the Metagross, and I feel like, you know, given the position he was in, knowing that he had a Scarf Hydra, he should have taken advantage of me not knowing that, but obviously I'm not going to complain. So I am just going to Scald the Metagross here and Scald the Landorus, excuse me, and Ironhead the Hydreigon. And my opponent's going to forfeit. So I'm going to be able to take a 3-2 win there. Really solid game overall. Obviously I got kind of lucky getting a crit, though I don't think the crits really didn't matter because the Mawile would have fainted from my Ironhead anyway, so not really a big deal. But the two biggest turns were basically Metagross getting a substitute up and then getting another one up. So sub Metagross, you know, that's what I've been trying to feature all along in Road to Ranked with this team, and it's been doing really, really well. So once again, shoutouts to all the great players at St. Louis who used it.